This is Dr. Koontz, and in this video, we will be using the index function to retrieve data from a two-dimensional table. We will also incorporate the match function into the project. The result will be a small application where we use pull-down validations to choose the row and column headers, and Excel will then display the data value at the intersection of the chosen row and column. This video uses pull-down validations, which we covered in a previous video. If you want to see how to do that, there's a link in the description below. In that video, we also used the same table, but we applied the name divisions to D6 through D9. And we also applied the name months to the range E5 through J5. Let's start by looking at the index function. The index function needs three parameters. They are the range or table name containing the data that we're working with. For what we're doing here, the index function will also need a row and a column number. One way to think of this would be if we had numbered our columns 1 through 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and we had numbered our rows 1 through 4, 2, 3, 4. The index function could look at the cell that is positioned in our data range at row 3 and column 4, for example, which would give us 72.4. Assume that we want April and North. As I look at my two-dimensional data, I can see that April is in column 4 and North is in row 3. The intersection of those two is 72.4. Using the index function, we can retrieve 72.4 from our range using just the row number and the column number. Let's do that. Equal to index, I'm going to open a paren and then select my range of data, hit comma. Now I want the row number. My row number in this case will be 3, so let's put a 3 in there. And then I want my column number, and my column number would be 4. So here's a 4. And now I can close my parenthesis, and you can see that it's retrieving what I expected, 72.4. Well, that works great. What I really want is an automated function so that if I change one of my two pull downs here, the sales number, which I'll put here, will update automatically. But how do I convert from the location name to the row number or from the month name to the column number? To do that, we can use the match function. The match function takes a row of data or a column of data, and then you give it a single piece of data and it looks through that row or column to see if it can find a match. When it finds a match, it gives you back the column or row number where that match is located. I can put here columns. And now let's look for the column that is represented by April. So I use my match function, equal match, open a parenthesis. The lookup value is what I'm looking for. So I'm looking for April. I'll click on B6. The next thing it wants is my range of items to look through. So I'll select my months. And because it was pre-named, it's coming up with months. If you did not pre-name this, then you would put in E5 through J5. I need one more item, which is my match type, and in this case I want an exact match, which is 0. Close my parenthesis, and now you can see that April results in the number 4. Let's change that to February. We get a 2. It's working great. Let's do the same for our rows. I'll use my match function, so equal to match. My lookup value is the division, or B7. My lookup array is the range that contains my division names, or D6 through D9, or if you've pre-named that range, then the name of the range, which for me is divisions. And finally, I need to do my match type, which is exact match, and that's a 0. So I can close my parenthesis and hit enter. And now I've got my row number as well. Let me put this back to April. And you can see that automatically I'm getting the correct column identifier and the correct row identifier as I change my selectors. The only thing that remains to do is for me to create an index function that contains or has nested into it the match functions so that we have all of this happening inside of one function. Let's build that. Equal to index. The first thing it wants is my array. The array is right here, so that's E6 through J9. We'll do a comma. Now it wants my row number, and I can use the same function that I used down here in B14, but I'm going to put it inside my index function. So that would be match. I need my lookup value, which is my division name, because we're after the row number. I need my lookup array, which is the 4 division names. And I need a 0 for exact match. Let's close that parenthesis, add a comma, and now we're going to do it again. This time the match of lookup value is my month. My lookup range or lookup array is E5 through J5, which is also months. And then our lookup type is a 0 for exact match. I close that parenthesis and close one more parenthesis and hit enter. And I get the 72.4 back. That's exactly what I'm looking for. Let's change April to January. We'll change north to east. So that should be 1, 1, and that should give us a 42.3. And it does. Here's my formula.